Hello, all you Holy Golden Doodle fans. So, I have a post on Reddit about my girls, about how I groom them, and I've kindly been struggling with something to make a video about. And I thought, hey, what about all that grooming stuff I've got? Now, this week, I already, I groomed Boo, and I will show that if I can get her to come in here. Bougie! Bougie, come here. Boo! I'm trying to show you how her hair looks. Hi, bird. Here she is. Hi, baby. No, show the people how your hair looks. Bougie. Boo! Well, maybe in a minute. She's too interested in Pet Dad. He's getting snacks out. So, my grooming table is in the room where I keep it. I kind of push it in a junk room. Okay, here she comes. Where's you at, Boo? There you are. The light's not real good, but there she is. Boo. Hey, Boo. Well, I can't get her attention. Anyway, the light's not real good right now, but I groomed her Saturday. I bathed her and groomed her and got her hair real short for summer. So anyway, on Reddit, I was talking to, answering a comment. The person wanted to know what kind of grooming tools that I use. And so I thought, I'll make a video about that because a lot of people are like me. They don't really know what kind of tools to use to groom their dog. And I learned through YouTube videos and through a very generous pet dad who all I got to do is say, boy, I'd like to have ... within reason, and he buys it for me. A lot of times I get it from Amazon, don't even know he's actually done that. So anyway, I'm going to turn this off, turn my camera around so you can see what I'm talking about, and I'll show you some of the stuff that I use to groom Paris, Bougie, and Roxy. Hang on. Okay, so this is going to be kind of like, my videos are kind of like homemade, but I'm just me. I'm not trying to impress anybody. So I want to show you my clippers that I use. Now I've got a set of Andis 5-speed with a cord, and I like them just fine. But this is my go-to. Now this clipper, I think, was about $450, but it's got a charge base and a spare battery that I will never use. I mean, I have used it, but just to keep from it going bad on me. But, I don't want to just keep it on the charger all the time and then never use it. So, but I was told that these things will last like 10 hours in a grooming shop on one charge. I don't know if that's true, but the only thing, they're kind of loud for, the way clippers, I guess, go, but I love them. Now, I always take the blades off of mine, and I always keep them clean. I put them in Dawn dish water, which I will just tell you what I do. Since I'm making, ouch, pinched my finger. Since I'm making a video. This is my caddy Pet Dad made for me. It's actually a Heart brand toolbox. But he's, it's got several layers here, things you can, put your stuff in. Well, all of my grooming stuff goes in here, and it's just stuff that we've collected for me. And I'll go through a lot of this stuff just to show people what works for what. I did teach myself, like I said, how to groom. So, where was I going with this? Anyway, my Andis Clippers are probably in the second tier of this. I don't know if I'll mess with getting that open, but I'll show you some of the stuff that I use for grooming. And I did learn how to do this. That's my little bird. He's 30 years old. That's his little bed sheet we cover him up with at night. Anyway, excuse my mess here. I'm gonna put this handle down. Forgive me for all this chattering and yammering. I recommend getting this thing here, though, this caddy, because it is so handy to keep all your grooming stuff in. There's Bougie. Look how pretty. Boo, look here and show them how pretty you look. See, she got groomed Saturday, and today's Tuesday. Roxy will be this weekend, and then Paris maybe the same day. Depends on how tired I am. But anyway, this is getting all over the place already. But I'm going to try to teach you about how I groom. Okay. So, on your blades. When you use your blades, try your best to not drop them on the floor because that'll kill them. And the smaller the number, the longer the hair. So, I didn't learn that right off. This is a 4FC. Now, you just saw Bougie, and that's what I used on her whole body Saturday. And I have a 4F blade, and it's almost the same length. I really don't know what the difference is in them, but that's what I use to just cut her hair real short. Now, if I want her to have a little bit of hair left, I use this terracotta blade. These aluminum guards are better. Now, there's all sizes. This one here is a big one that I think it's 2-inch. But you can use that on the top knot if you don't know how to scissor it, which I have taught myself to do. But you can use, these guards, and they'll really, really help you. Now, they can be pretty expensive, but I found them on Amazon. If anybody ever wants to know, I'll try to put a link some way where you can see what kind I got. Maybe in the description of this video if I don't forget. And if I do, remind me in the comments. Anyway, so on the blades. Now this 10 blade, these are Taro blades, will either fit my Andis 5-speed clippers with the cord, or they'll fit my Artero clippers. They are interchangeable. If you buy a set of clippers off of Amazon, look in the comment section and search around. And if you get more than one set, especially, try to get interchangeable blades. But now, on my clippers, Pet Dad bought me so many blades. And you need extra ones because when they get hot, the dogs get fidgety. And they won't stand still for you. So I can use a blade till it starts getting warm. And then I'll take it off. And I'll lay it somewhere. And then I'll get another one of a 10. And I'll put it on so I'm not burning them or even heating them up at all, because they don't like to be, anything to feel funny to them. So the 10 blade is what I use to do. Almost dropped that. Cardinal rule, don't drop your blade. That's what you can use to do their sanitary with. I mean, you can go longer on it, but I like to keep their sanitary area clean. I call it the landing strip because they sit on their sanitary area, and that just is a funny way I put it. But anyway, I've got several of these 10 blades. And then I just washed them and oiled them. You can see the oil still on them. Now, when I get ready to use them again, I'll wipe them down. But I like to store them with a little bit of oil on them. And then, let's see, I think all these are 10 blades. Pet Dad sorts them for me. But if you're going to wash them, when you get, here we go, here's a 30 blade. And when you're going to wash your blades after you get through using them, make some hot soapy dishwater, use Dawn in it, and soak your blades in it for a little while. Now, I learned this from an online groomer. He's on TikTok a lot, and I can't think of his name. But if I could think of it, I'll tell you before I get through. But anyway, he showed on there how to clean the blades. He's a military veteran, and then now he's retired. He does dog grooming. And anyway, this is a 30 blade. It's a surgical blade. Like if a vet's going to do surgery on a dog, they will shave their skin with this. So you don't want to use this by itself unless you want a dog that has literally no hair. But I put this one on my Artero, and then I'll put a guard on top of this 30 blade. And that's how I do if I'm going to use a clipper guard. I think you can use it over a 10 blade as well, but I always use a 30 blade, and then I'll put a guard over it. But I never use a 30 blade unless I'm going to use a guard. Now, here's a 7FC. It's a little bit shorter than the 4FC. There's a 4F. What I was talking a while ago about that. But the 4FC is the one that I clip the girls with. And then this 7 is a little longer. I mean, a little shorter, make their hair a little shorter. So the smaller the number on the blade, in some cases, the shorter the hair. Now this 30 blade is going to shave them. That's a surgical blade. That's a 10 blade. That's not what I meant to pick up. There's a 4F. 10, 10, 10. There's a 30 in there. I'm not going to bore you with that. Anyway, use a 10 blade to do their landing strip. Don't push too hard on their skin and their hair, because the clipper blade will dig down in there and make their hair uneven. And you don't want to cut their skin. I don't think you would, but you just need to be careful. And I just want to say here, I'm not a professional. I'm not a teacher. I am not even in a place to be teaching. I'm just telling you what I do with my girls what I use on them. Now this is my clipper blade oil that I use. It's by Andis. It's got foreign language on it, but anyway, that's what I use up for that. This is a dematting comb. If they get some little mats behind their ears, this thing, you can just go like that a little bit and it'll pull those mats. It cuts them. Now you don't want to, it cuts the mats, not the dog. You don't want to touch up in there, because that is sharp up in there. Now the outside's not, but that thing's a miracle to get mats out. I call this my booger comb. I ordered that probably on Amazon, and I don't know what it might be a lice comb, but I ordered it so that I could comb down in their, you know, where their eyes run and they get those little eye boogers. I'll just comb that and get those eye boogers out. And then when you're line brushing your dog to make sure it's not matted, you brush and then you take a comb like this, a wide tooth comb, and comb, and then brush and comb. I have videos up that show line brushing. This is a blending shear, thinning shear, whatever you want to call it. But if you make too blunt of a cut on your dog, you know, cut its hair and you can see scissor marks, just take this and just go across that blunt cut, and that thing will go right away. Unless you've cut it down to the skin, you'll be able to hide it. You'll be able to change it. And this is my clipper blade brush. I just brush the hair out of the clipper blades like that when I'm using them. Sometimes they'll get to where they won't want to cut. And if your clipper is starting to talk to you too loud, see, that's a tiny, tiny clipper guard. If your clippers is talking to you, you need to oil them and or your blade. Now look at that, how short. That's a short guard. And oh, I meant to tell you, these guards here, they were a lot cheaper. If you order metal guards from some places, I mean, we're talking, it'll be hundreds of dollars. And I think I got all of these blades, or these guards, for about $20, I think. I can't remember for sure, but it definitely wasn't hundreds of dollars, because I wasn't going to be using them all that much. And then this is just a spare leash. And then these, I just recently got. These are Kenshii brand. As I don't know how to spell that. Let's see. I can't see that. Kenchii or SCHI. This is, KENCHII.com is where you can get these from Kenshii. These were $100 a piece. But as a person who cuts human hair, has done it for years, that is what you want to get. Now, at first, I started out with some of these from Amazon, a whole set of them, and they're scattered everywhere. See, here's one of the curved ones. But I started out with these, but they don't stay sharp a long time, and I don't know anybody that sharpens scissors. So I got the Kenshii scissors, and I know I can send them in and get them sharpened if they ever need it. So there was that. And these curved scissors, if you're going to go around a top knot, or around their ears, see that naturally curves. These things can make a curve and just make you look like you know what you're doing. So that's a good thing to have. And then these scissors are some kind of surgical things. But you can clamp those down on the hair, down in their ears, and just pull it out. And that's what I do. Now, I've got some powder, ear powder that you can get on Amazon that you just barely put that in their, just dust their ear with it where there's hair down in their ear canal, not around the inside, but down in their ear canal. And that'll make your fingers even just grip on that hair. You can pull it right out because you have to pluck their ears or they'll get infections. In fact, I think Boo's got one in one of her ears. I'm going to have to check that out since I groomed her and I tried to pluck the hair out of her ears and she didn't really want to let me do it. But I saw some earwax in there, but I don't know if it's wax or if it's infection. But the vet will let me swab it myself and take the swab in, and then they'll take care of it. This is just something a screwdriver I use for general purposes. These are chunker scissors. They're not Kenshii, but they're good. I bought them separately, and they were about $37 or $40. But they make a little more blunt of a cut to hide gaps or, to make the hair not look blunt cut than these. These cut a little bit more wider swaths, but they work good. And then let's see what else have I got in here. A bunch more combs. Here's another pair of scissors that goes the other direction. And this is the straight pair. You can use them for whichever purpose. That was a part of that set. These are groom loops that I can hang up to put their head in, just like a leash, but you can put their head in it when you're grooming them. These are Dremel tool sandpaper that you put on the Dremel tool when you're doing their nails. My girls do so much better. That's a spare clipper blade drive that I came with my Carol Clippers. My dogs do better with a Dremel than they do anything. Now, these are some heavy-duty clippers. Bougie got hold of them when she was a baby and chewed them up a little bit. But Roxy, she doesn't mind if I do hers with the Dremel or with these. Now, the other two, Bougie has a fit if you clip her toenails. And I did quick her one time and made her bleed because she just fights so bad. Now, she won't, if I wait till I bathed her while her toenails are real good and soft, she's fine. She'll let me Dremel her feet. So that's what I try to do. Try to put this where it won't stick up in the air. And then this thing is my Dremel. Now, I use it. It's rechargeable. See? I used it this last weekend on Bougie, and I didn't change out the sandpaper because there's a lot of life left in it. But, if you use this thing, hit it on their toenail. I'm going to use this for a toenail example. Like go, and then stop, and then touch the toenail. Stop, touch the toenail. Because that causes friction, and I feel like it might heat their toenail up. And just to be sure it doesn't, you should touch that toenail and make sure that you're cooling it off with your fingertip. And as I said before, I make sure I've gave them a bath when I do that, so they will. That's going to make too much of a lump in there for some reason. I have to rearrange the things. I think it did fit in there. There we go. Give them a bath and get their toenails soft before you use it, and it'll work a lot better because it'll just basically just go right down. Now I'm gonna try to take you in here. This room is a mess. It's kind of my room where my treadmill goes. It's kind of a junk room. See, there's Bougie. Oh, you got your face hair all messed up. You look terrible, but she looks good, except she's been wallowing around and drinking water, messed her hair up on her face. I'll go in here in the treadmill room and show you. This is my grooming table. And it's got some foot pedals down here. Now, it's on wheels. Dad put it on casters with locks. And then you just tap either side to raise it up or down. And then you can, you hook her up on that. But you can lower that table all the way down to the floor. And they step right over on that table. And then I step on the thing and raise them up. step on the foot pedals and raise whichever dog it is up there. I'm going to walk out here on the back deck and show you the grooming table. The grooming tub, sorry. The grooming tub. My porch is a mess. We've had company for 3 months. Wonderful company, but we've had company. This is an on-demand water heater. Now you're going to have to forgive us. We just got this out of storage about a month ago, and there's already been bugs coming out here, around this light up here, and got bugs everywhere. We had a fly paper out here to catch them all, but we're going to have to clean all that up. But anyway, that grooming tub is awesome. I keep it covered up so it's not filthy. When I get ready to put the girls in it, it's always very clean in there. And there's Boo. And that's how I do them. And then I did not show you the blow dryer, though. I don't know. I think it's in the other bedroom, and someone's in there asleep. So hang on a minute for me to do the third part of this. Okay, so I went ahead and showed you, I hope I wasn't too confusing, what I use on what dog for what reason. Now the brushes that I use, this is not the one I use all the time. I've got one called a Chris Christensen brush, and it's pretty expensive. I think it was $75, but I had a $50 credit on Amazon for a brush I had bought. So I thought, I ain't paying that for a hairbrush. And I thought, why not? I've got to spend my credit. So I went ahead and did it. But this one is not that expensive. See, these bristles are like that. And if you go down in that golden doodle hair and brush them with that, it gets all the way to the skin. And if you brush them every day is preferable to keep them from getting matted. If you don't have time to do them every day, at least do them twice a week. Brush all the way down to the skin, and then brush. I've got videos about it. Just line brush, like go up in a line, hold the hair up, and take that brush, with one hand, and then take that brush and pull it out of your hand with that brush. And if you do that all over, it won't take any time at all. And even if your doodle sheds a little bit of hair, it'll be in that brush, and you won't have any hair around the house. So sorry about my swing making noise. So that's. Ooh, excuse me, I dropped you. That's the kind of brushes that I use on them. I brush and comb them. And also, let me tell you a trick. If you're gonna groom your own dog, I tell you what the trick is to making them look smooth as glass. Get some Sheen. It's called Sheen, and they sell it on Amazon and probably all over the internet. I don't know, but that will last one dog forever. Now, I ordered these spray bottles. They're like 79 cents on TikTok, but you just pull the trigger once and they just keep spraying. They're like a mist. You'll know what I'm talking about. Or you can just use a regular pump spray, but you'll use a whole lot less of that Sheen if you just use that pull trigger sprayer that just kind of, just keep spraying after you quit pulling that trigger one time. Put that on their hair after you bathe them. Then blow dry them if you at all can. Blow dry them with Sheen on their hair. And that hair will stand up like, it just stands up. And then when you're clipping them, there's no lumpy places or nothing. It's just smooth as glass. Now, if you start grooming them and you're noticing that your clippers are not really getting all them little curly hairs, they're like leaving a hair here and there, and you may not even notice that, but I do. I want my dogs to look so groom perfect now. Now that I've kind of learned a little bit, but I take that Sheen again, even after they're dry, and I spray it, and then I'll brush their hair backwards a couple brushes, and I'll run them clippers over that, and there is not one lumpy place on their hair. It's just perfectly smooth. Now, I never knew when I first started grooming, but the trick to a beautiful, smooth groom is preparation. You know how when you're painting something, you don't want to take the time to mask off the windows and the woodwork, and you don't want to stand there and do the edging and all that prep work. The part you want to do is the fun part, which is broadcasting that paint roller all over. Well, it's kind of like that with dog grooming. You have to do all that little incidental work And it's really worth it if you just take the time to prep. I mean, wash that dog. Make sure that dog's clean. If your dog is really, like if its hair's gotten really long, if you got more than one clipper blade, take the blade that you're going to use on them. Like if you're going to use a 4FC, that's what I use on mine right now for summer cuts. And it's not shaving them down to the skin. It just leaves, just a little hair. Just kind of pre-groom them with that, knowing you better have a spare blade, because maybe that oily hair is going to get in there and get that clipper blade dirty. So you're either going to have to wash that blade again before you do the final groom, or you're going to have to use a different blade. But it's going to be fine. You just got to make sure your blades are clean when you do the final groom. But anyway, just pre-groom them. Kind of run the clippers over them first and get most of that long hair off. You don't have to be perfect with it. Just kind of knock a lot of that hair off. Then give them a bath. Do their toenails. Blow dry them with Sheen on their hair. Get them out, and their hair will be springy, woo, like because you blow dried them. And then put them on that grooming table and go over them one last time, a good groom. And my gosh, they're going to be beautiful. I figured that out. Is all that prep work is necessary if you want to do a beautiful job. And if you got to take all day to do it, which when I first started doing it, it took me a while. But I mean, let them have a break. Work on them 30 minutes and then let them have a 30-minute break or longer. And before you even start, if you can let them run around out in the yard, we've got 2.5 acres we have the run of, but we've got a fenced-in acre and a half, I think. We can let them run all they want to. And if you get them tired before you start, they're a whole lot easier too. And, let them get out and run and get their exercise over with, get done pottying. If they got a potty, they're not going to behave. So most of the time they're not. But another thing I've been doing, I don't know if you're interested in it, but I've been doing clean feet on my girls. And that is, Bougie, where'd you go? I'll see if I can find her. Boo? I don't know, Pet Dad might let her back in the house. Anyway, I cut their feet like poodle feet. I shave their feet. Shave them. And then if they go out in the yard where it's muddy, I don't know how she went in that house and I didn't see her. There she is. Boo, let me have your foot. Can you see? Can you see that? Let him see her foot. She's scared. See her feet? Anyway, I do that and get all the hair off their feet right up to their ankles. And then when they go out in the yard and potty and it's been raining, they don't have any mud on their feet. But I do prefer the teddy bear feet more. But, practical wise, I like to do that. And then another thing I just saw a lady do the other day, and I might try to do that next time. She's a big doodle person, and she's in the UK. But she kind of picked up that teddy bear hair just to the first set of knuckles on the feet, and she shaved the feet. And then she combed all that hair down over the feet and just went around the edge of the foot like you do on a teddy bear cut. And it still looked like they had all that hair on their feet, but under there they didn't. And then also be sure you get in them paw pads, but be careful when you're trimming in the paw pads. I don't recommend you do any of that unless you know what you're doing. And definitely don't use scissors unless you're going just on the surface of the feet with clippers or scissors. If you don't know what you're doing, just kind of go over the surface. Just go over the pad, outside the pads. I get down in there, but I'm careful because if you cut into those tendons, you could cripple them. So you don't want to do that. Don't use a 30 blade on their feet. A 10 blade, I think, is what I use. And that's plenty. That's the same thing I use on their sanitary. I just kind of go over it, and then I'll get in there and just, if I see anything matted, I'll get it, lightly get it out. Now, I've been looking for the last 2 days for a clipper that is just for that, or a small dog clipper. Like a professional grooming clipper, but a small size, like you'd use on a small dog. And I'm going to just dedicate that to feet pads because those are quieter. And I feel like I'll be able to, they'll be small enough I can get in there, and work on their feet. I'm still learning, but I guess I've been grooming the girls, be 1 year in June. And I love their groomer, Casey. It's nothing like that. But I just decided to learn how to do it myself because Paris would come home scared to death. And, you know, she's scared of everything. If she hears thunder, she shakes. And I've had her whole life. Nobody's mistreated her. But she might have had a bad experience when a different groomer groomed her when she was younger. I don't know. But, you know, I just want to take care of them myself. They're mine. And as long as my health holds up to where I can groom them myself and do a good job, that's what I want to do. Now, I think I've told you like the gist of what all I do. And I've made some videos of me grooming them, you know, in parts or bathing them and stuff. And I know they wasn't near enough for you to really learn anything from it. I've just never got anybody here to help me video. But hopefully someday I can get my son Danny to help me. Now he's got a new channel called Through the Fire, I believe, where he's explaining something that he just came through. I have missed out on making a whole lot of videos lately. And it was because I was spending a whole lot of time with him. Me and Pet Dad were. Now, me and Pet Dad raised our kids in church. We're not perfect, but we didn't do things that people do to cause their kids to get off on the wrong track. We didn't do none of that. We were good parents. And but my son lost his way and got on drugs, and I didn't know it. And when I found out about it, I just sat and waited for the right time, and I prayed about it for the Lord to show us the right time. And he did. And I'm proud to say he's 3 months clean. And he's doing great. He's in church. He's got a lot of videos up. He's got a Patreon group where the reason he's got that, you have to pay to see it because he has a wound on his leg that's from his knee to his ankle. His legs have been laid wide open for months, and it's got a wound back on it. But tomorrow he goes in the hospital for surgery, and they'll close up that wound with skin grafts. And if everything goes well, and we expect it will, he'll be in the hospital 5 days, and then he'll be on his way. But he is a changed man. He's doing good. He's a better person than I've been. I'll tell you that. He's going to people that have absolutely been horrible to him in his life, and he's apologized to them when he didn't even do anything to them. He just wants to love people, and he wants his life to be better, and that's what he's doing. So I just wanted to let you guys know I've not been laying out and not doing my videos and not doing, keeping up with everything. I didn't start this channel for no reason. I barely had time to look for a male puppy or a stud service for my girls. I've been pretty busy with my son, and there's been a whole lot to it. We've had many, many talks. We've cried a lot. I've heard things that I didn't think I'd ever hear, and it was horrifying for me. But, I'm just glad he's better. I'm glad that we've walked away from that dark time. And if anybody ever wants to see a link to his stuff, I'll put a link in the description. If anybody would like to see. I mean, he's pretty candid. The wound is really, really bad. If you're squeamish, you don't want to see it. I think he's got that where you have to pay $5 a month though to see it, or $5 one time. I think I just saw a mouse run across my deck out here. I think I did. Wow, or a lizard woman. But anyway, I just he told me before to, mention that, and I hadn't had a chance to make a video and mention it, and it hadn't come right for me to do it. But that's what's been going on. If you're a praying person, pray for my son, pray for both of my sons. My other one's waiting for his kidney transplant that he will hopefully get someday. And, we're just being tried, but we're going to come through victorious. So anyway, I didn't mean to get off on that, but this is some instruction I'm leaving with you for you to see what I do with my grooming stuff, just kind of a rough rundown of it. And I think I got everything I got on Amazon in one way or another. So if you want to know, I'll probably link most of the stuff I bought in the description, but it's a lot of stuff, so I don't know if I can link it all, but I'll try. If you guys want more stuff that's not linked there, just put it in the comments, and I hope you'll comment and click the thumbs up and help me get my stuff back in the algorithm. I know this video has been so long, forgive me. I'll talk to you soon. Holy golden doodles, there's a lot been going on around here. Bye, guys.